Hello and welcome to Fade's WoW Gold Rush, a video series dedicated to showing you quick ways to make gold with limited time in World of Warcraft, in which all the tips and tricks are ways to make gold with 15 minutes or less of playtime. I hope you enjoy. Here we go.
I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town.
Hi guys, this is Fade, and it's time for another WoW Gold Rush after a pretty long break. By request, we're doing tailoring, so let's go ahead and get started. Now yesterday, not knowing I was going to be doing a gold rush, I actually completely restocked the auction house, so I don't actually want to create anything today because it would create a huge backstock for that I don't really need. But I do want to show you guys something. Often I say just go look through your professions, look at what's selling well, but looking through everything in your profession both takes a lot of time and a lot of auction house searches and a lot of effort. If you want to make gold in 15 minutes or less, you're probably not going to do it manually searching everything from your profession list, are you? So what I do is I do this get all scan that you just saw me do in TSM, and then I come look at this list. In that far right hand column, there's some red numbers, and those are things that are selling at a loss right now. And all of these green numbers are things TSM finds you would sell for a profit, theoretically, if you sold it. Now, the problem is, this is an add-on doing all the thinking for you. That is not good. You need to engage your brain, otherwise you're going to make mistakes. I've made them, I've heard of other people making them. Don't let the add-on make your decisions for you, merely let it show you what might demand more attention. For example, here's this Wisp Cloak here saying it's the most profitable item. Wisp Cloaks are level 80. They're not that great. They weren't even that great at level 80. No one's going to pay thousands of gold for that. You need to think about that, and instead maybe go for that PvP piece that it's only going to be 100 gold profit, but hey, you're going to sell it, unlike that Wisp Cloak. So think about what you see there, and engage your brain, figure out what's actually worth your making, and look at it from that standpoint. So that's just a quick way to look at your profession and see exactly what you want to make. Now granted, like I said, I don't want to make anything today, so let me show you how else I make gold with tailoring. Now, in my mind, tailoring isn't just a crafting profession, it's also a gathering profession, as long as you're talking about Wrath and Cataclysm. Because of cloth scavenging, they are the ideal class for if you're going to be killing a lot of humanoids. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting 15 minutes on the clock, because, after all, this is gold making in 15 minutes or less, and I'm going to be just killing all these mobs here in the not molten front, the fractured front. Now, for quite a while, I would only do this farming in Tolbarad, and I still rather like to because I find that the items that I get, the uncommon items, I've gotten some meta gem cut designs, etc., are of higher value. However, the goal right now is to effectively farm cloth, and I've found that that is about equal between these two locations. In this location, the kills are faster and you kill a lot more, thus you get more chances at cloth, but they drop less cloth per mob, while in the Tolbarad area, the Restless Front, I think? Aren't they all fronts? But while you're in Tolbarad, you kill fewer, and so there's also a bit more risk, but in contrast, the things they drop tend to be worth more. All in all, I found it about even if you're looking to buy cloths, or to farm cloth specifically. As for this location, I have to give a tip of my hat to Flux from Power Word Gold and his Treasure Potion Trash Dash. Basically, I hadn't really thought about this, and I saw that he really recommended this because of some results from the Treasure Potion Trash Dash over at powerwordgold.net. And that's why I came out here, and I've enjoyed it as a farming spot ever since. So definitely check out his blog, he's got some great ideas. At the end of the day, though, I tend to mix between Tolbarad and this location fairly often. I like them both, quite honestly, and sometimes you just need a change of scenery. The nice thing about this location when recommending it to other people is the golems that you'll see around here actually effectively do most of the tanking for you if you let them, and so even the squishiest classes, even people who aren't 85, can farm here relatively easily. Now here's the thing, I'm currently using a potion of treasure finding. I can buy these off the auction house for 42 gold. I checked before I came out just to make sure I factored that in. And though I'm only going to be using it for 15 minutes out of its hour duration, I know that it will pay for itself. Basically, using a tailor to farm humanoids and cloth is min-maxing that, and adding on a treasure potion is min-maxing the min-maxing, in my opinion. You can definitely farm out here without using the potion. However, because of the large amount of cloth you find in the chests, as well as gold, volatiles, ore, and greens, and I've heard there's blues and epics, but I'm not sure, I haven't seen those myself. They all tend to help make it pay off effectively. So I highly recommend using a potion of treasure finding if you come out here. Basically, what I've found is that cloth farming is my favorite way to make gold with my tailor. Sometimes I just want to go out and AoE shit to death, basically, and that's what I use my tailor for. That's why I have a Death Knight tailor, among the other reasons, such as looking awesome on a carpet. Basically, I guess what my point is with this tailoring video is that you shouldn't necessarily just box yourself into, I have a crafting profession, I'm going to craft. There are great perks of a lot of professions, such as cloth scavenging for tailoring, that I think are generally underused. It's a great way to make extra gold, and it's a lot of fun to just come out here and farm sometimes. I'm not usually a farmer, but because of that is this one gonna have an epic on it? It kind of adds a little bit extra to the experience. And if you want, then you can then use the cloth you pick up for your own crafting if you want to add in a crafting element to that, because as I pointed out at the beginning of the video, there are a lot of things selling for a profit on my server. I just happen to already be selling them, which is the only reason I didn't make them for this video. Now for some totals, I ended up looting about 58 gold. After vendoring items and then repairing, I ended up at 66 gold. So 66 gold pure profit from looting, no one can take that away from me, and it doesn't matter what markets are like. I also ended up with 148 pieces of ember silk. I'll turn that into bolts, and the bolts all together will sell for about 600 gold, given the current market prices. Bolts sell a little bit more slowly than just the straight cloth, but they tend to sell for 2 or 3 times as much, and they do eventually sell, so I'm patient with that. I also ended up with 4 volatile water and 5 elementium ore, which are just bonus as far as I'm concerned. And then I also ended up with 5 greens. I'll sell those for roughly 100 gold, a little bit less for some of the armor, a little bit more for the weapons. So all in all, I actually am going to end up making about 1,000 gold, and then I guess the 66 from looting minus 42 for the potion. Basically, at the end of the day, I am still making about 1,000 gold in 15 minutes from farming, so go ahead and beat that, Whiptail farmers.